call this meeting to order, if we could, please. First order of business would be the minutes from the February 7 meeting, which was mailed to the magistrates. Any corrections or changes?
None noted. Motion to approve is presented.
Motion to approve by Sam Hutchins. There's a second to the motion. Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next will be your bills list and your additional bills list. I think I explained to you guys the $15,000 bill there on the HCC public risk claim.
Yes, you did.
And that's over with. I did not see anything that stuck out, Ron. Did you see anything that
Business as usual.
might cause heartburn?
Pump stations, you got them fixed up there now?
Again, that new task force room,
Uh-huh. There's a room
it
upstairs.
wasn't no labor included in that, right?
So Mark's doing a lot of the work in-house, but we did.
I'm talking about wiring.
What, Sheriff here? I can't remember. I think we're doing most of that in-house ourselves. Mark, you know,
My
but he
understanding
Timmy
was,
had to extend a couple of ventilation.
I could be wrong, but my understanding was, didn't Alan Asher wire that for nothing? Pardon?
We were going to do some of the work, but Alan was going to be the supervisor over it, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But it was just a few. It wasn't anything.
Right.
Make a motion, pay the bills as presented.
Thank you, Bernard. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Jerry. Now, is there any further discussion? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Today we have with us State Highway Department from District 4 with us today, Paul Sanders with the District Engineer. And we have Chad Filiatru, Jude Filiatru, and anybody else? Josh Hornback.
Josh.
Yeah, I forgot to jot your name down. I know people's faces a lot of times, but I got it right this time. And I see you on a regular basis. He's going to present the state rural secondary program to us.
Sure. Thank you. Allow me to present this to you. This year, of course, I'll go back over some stuff that we constantly do every year, explaining how the rural secondary program is funded, but it's funded by 22.2% of the motor fuel tax receipts. These funds are allocated to all 120 counties based on a 5-point formula. That formula would be 1/5 equal among all counties, 1/5 based on rural population, 1/5 based on rural road miles, and 2/5 based on lane area. Of course, once the money is allocated, it's not transferable to another county. So for this year's program, if you look at that handout, of course you got number 1 there, which is the routine maintenance and traffic for the county. That's $589,000 for the year. The second thing would be the county judge executive expenses, which is set by statute at $38.62. Then, of course, our first route that we're looking at is Kentucky 1858. That runs from US 62 to Kentucky 55. It's a total distance of 4.252 miles, and it costs to $273,700. Our next one is Kentucky 332. That runs from Kentucky 245 to Sterling Court, a distance of 0.82 miles. Cost us $63,900. Our next one would be Kentucky 1066 from US 62 to Kentucky 458. Total distance on that route would be 1.678 miles. It cost of $107,000. Number 6 would be Kentucky 458. It runs from Kentucky 1066 to Spencer County line. Total distance on that one would be 2.901 miles. At a cost of $195,000. So for the total year, total cost would be $1,232,462, which is just a shy under what we had available for this year's rural secondary program.
Chad, correct me if I'm wrong on that 332. That's the balance of what was left from last year.
Continuation.
Ran a little short of money last year and had to stop it somewhere. Jeff, in your district. 1066 is one of the most talked about that needed it, so I think that was a real good choice by the Transportation Cabinet. We do, guys, have allow me to submit the rural secondary flex fund program. If I can submit that to the
Sure.
engineer. Sure. It's Holt Ridge, King Road, Potter Shop Road, and Newton Valley. It's estimated cost about $195. And of course, your measurements may be, I don't know if they're gonna let you guys do the, if we do it, letting you guys do the letting, or we're gonna do the letting.
I think you already did.
We'd rather do it because we can do it within our specs a little bit different and probably get a little more bang for our money. No disrespect intended by that.
No.
You got a little more bureaucracy to deal with than we do.
Couple other things, we have another pot of money, of course, for resurfacing. It's our FD05 program. Nelson County has a couple roads that come up on that program also. US 62, just before Broadway to the Nelson Anderson County line. It's about 4.4 miles.
That's up in Chaplin area.
Yeah. Another one is US 31E, from the LaRue Nelson County Nelson County line to just before Ray Wimsett Boulevard. And then we also have Kentucky 52, that's from Kentucky 247 to about the Nelson Marion County line, another about 4.606 miles. Then we got another section of Kentucky 55 from the Nelson Washington line to US 62. It's about 3.0841 miles long. Then the next thing we got is Kentucky 1430. That runs from US 31 to Kentucky 245. And that's all dependent upon how things come in and everything as far as how much the funding will allow.
We're kind of getting used to that
Exactly,
scenario.
exactly. So that's all I
Good
got.
choices. Good. I think they're all well deserved.
Have you got a copy?
No, I do not have a copy of that.
Chad can get you
Yeah.
one. So, you know, but again, like I said,
It's
this,
subject to the funding.
yes,
And I
yes,
think-
yes. If
I
bids
think last year
come,
the funding kind of fell a little short.
we actually got an extra few jobs done at the end of the year. They
Do
actually
you know what that
priced,
those lettings would be?
these will just be out through the year. Typically in the past, they've kind of done them all on the front end, but due to the budget and the cash flow, they've kind of let them as, progressed them out through the year as they come. So, I just ask on the fiscal court if you all are in agreement with that rural secondary, if you all would just, vote on it.
How do you determine which roads?
What's that, rural secondary? Ride,
Yeah.
drive, big, ride quality, what looks like potholes cracking, key cracks.
Do you grade each of the roads?
I mean, not necessarily probably an official grade,
Yeah.
but more of a big, we
Kinda like our
try
system.
to ride them
Just like ours.
every year, you know.
I know
Complaints too.
Yeah.
the rural secondary, I know like your flex funds, you know, we have to go out and evaluate them on a scale of 1 to 10, assign a number to it, and then of course we submit that to Frankfurt, and Frankfurt decides which ones they.
You know, apologies, since you're kind of new into our fiscal court meetings, and I explained this to previous politicians up in Frankfurt, our standards are much different than, say, a standard would be in eastern Kentucky. You know, our roads may look fine to somebody who's been used to a gravel road or a pothole road, but when you have alligator cracking, it's still, even though that makes sense to you,
Mm-hmm.
our standards may be a little bit different, so when you do ride the county roads that we have submitted, we expect our standards a little bit better than maybe some of the other
Sure.
rural roads, or rural counties. And I think that's important, because our folks, there's not too many roads that have potholes. If we have a pothole, we better be out there pretty fast.
Exactly.
But entertain a motion to approve the list and the flex funds that we have submitted. If I get a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sam Hutchins, is there a second? Second by Keith Metcalf. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for everything you
Question
do.
on 55 over,
Right.
that creek down through there, is there any plans to channel line or gabion baskets that along through there? There's a place or two, it's right there.
Yeah, it's probably be same, just kind of something we watch, the maintenance issue and manage them as they come about.
I know there for a while, they used a lot of shot rock and concrete and spewed it.
Right.
But it seems like it's picked it up and taken it down through there too.
Right. We fixed it, it's probably been 5, 6 years ago now.
About 5, yeah.
Yeah.
We worked on it. Certainly.
two of them are where I was over there Sunday, and it's flushed up right next to the blacktop again. I didn't know if maybe it gave you the basket. I've seen it like on, what's the road from, High Grove to Fairfield, where they went in there and put, Gabion baskets along. It seems like that's held up really well. But this one, that'd be a long project down through there.
Yeah, and they're expensive, those baskets are expensive, and labor intensive.
And Paul, while I've got you here, and I've talked to you about this by internet once before, we have a guardrail project on 31E of New Haven Road called Helsinki Hill. We've done the section going down the hill coming from Bardsdale, but coming from back to New Haven, there's a little shorter section.
Right.
And it's, I think you said it was #1 priority within the district, or in the top tier.
Right.
Is there any allocation at all so far?
As far, I haven't seen nothing so far this year with guardrail. Like I told you, it's in there, and if the money, as it comes available and they let it, it'll go.
So we should contact our elected officials in Frankfurt to petition,
It's just a budgetary thing
I'm
within the
talking about-
maintenance, but
squeeze them a little bit. I can say that, you can't.
you go right ahead.
They asked
Thank
for
you,
the-
Paul.
They did ask for the estimate on that.
Yeah.
We have
That one
sent, Jude
that
had
goes-
worked the estimate up on that. so
Yeah.
it's
I've
not-
submitted the estimate on it, I assumed it was going.
I'll follow up with Senator Higgs and transportation folks.
Okay.
One other thing, Judge, is that Little Road project, they've got about 115 working days left on that project. So it's gonna be September neighborhood before that job's complete.
Okay. And Brad and I are going, you guys are going to set up a meeting to identify, get
Sure.
a little more detail on a couple of those little turnarounds and stuff that, but I appreciate your patience on that.
We're gonna actually go look at them till we get
Okay.
done with here.
But we're willing to.
Drive around out there in the 4th District if y'all do.
It's been a little extra time out there. He's used to going on gravel roads, so we think our roads are interchanges. Grayson County, my buddy down, you have Grayson County in your district, don't you? And I think he still has 200 or 300 miles of gravel
Well,
roads.
in Breckenridge County, it's quite a
Breckenridge.
few.
Yeah, they got, so we're pretty lucky, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, today with us Thomas Hamilton, who has kind of been worked up and worked on the Rocket Docket program for the Assistant Commonwealth, as part of the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Thomas?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for letting me come and speak to you all. I am, like Dean said, trying to run the Rocket Docket program here in Nelson and Hart counties. You all gave us a grant in September, it went into effect. And I do have a sort of a short report for you all to give an update on where we are right now. According to Carol Ray, who is the program director for the Rocket Docket program in Frankfurt, works for the Prosecutors Advisory Council, in Nelson County and Hart County combined, the program through the first 3 months has saved $59,400. They are getting that number by taking a number of cases that we've run through the Rocket Docket, and then the amount of time that those particular defendants have stayed in jail, and then the cost per day that it would have cost them to spend the normal amount of time in jail had they not gone through the Rocket Docket. And so right now, the difference that they've come up with is $59,400. I don't have an allocation between Hart and Nelson. We may have that at the end of the year, but it's only 4 months into it, so we don't have anything in writing. It's just an email I got from Ms. Ray, and I sent that to Dean. I can send it to the rest of you if you'd like it. But basically what the Rocket Docket program does, it puts low-level felony offenders who have a drug problem into treatment at an early stage in litigation, so they don't have to go through the entire process of being indicted, sitting in jail, waiting for their case to be adjudicated. If they want, they can go ahead and plead guilty, move their case on, and get into treatment. Truthfully, I don't know how accurate that $59,400, it seems a little bit high to me, but it's the number they gave me, so that's what we're going with. It sounds good.
But anything's a help, and no more than we allocated to the program. If it's just a matter of making that available, that will grow.
And I should say that $59,400 is just through December 31st. So it's not from, there's definitely gonna be additional savings since then to today, but, and I would say probably Hart County gets a little bit more benefit than Nelson, just because, there's a little bit of their, I would say their,
Trying to be politically
defense
correct.
attorneys are a little bit
Trying to
more
be politically
amenable to
correct.
the program. They're more interested in getting people in than Nelson County, but I still think Nelson County has benefited greatly. We've done 20 cases here from beginning to end. We've closed out 20 cases here in Nelson County and have several more pending. So if that continues through the end of the year, that would be 80 cases, and that's approximately 20% of Nelson County's felony docket in 2016. In 2015, it would have been about 25%, but we're way up on felony cases, so it's a slightly less percentage.
How many days are they on average are this day? I'm going through this in jail day.
In Nelson County, it was around 27, I think. I couldn't swear to that. That's close to the number. That's an average. I don't know that that's was it the median versus the mean? I don't have that number, but that's the average for possession-related drug cases in Nelson County.
How many did you say it was?
I think 27 from
27.
date of arrest
Okay.
through.
So it's a month, basically a month.
And on the Rocket docket, they're closer to, say, 7 to 10.
So out of the 59,000, you don't know how much of it's Nelson and how much of it's Hart?
I hope
Do you
know
think
that
it's
at
half
the
and
end.
half, or you don't even know?
I would say it's a little bit more than Nelson County, just because
Because
there's
we're-
so many more cases in Nelson. Percentage-wise, per defendant, Hart County's definitely coming out better.
27 days times $38 a day times ever how many folks?
State allocates $30 a day.
Yeah.
That's correct.
30 is the number they gave
30
us.
is the number they use, and that's typical.
Sold 138.
Thank you, Thomas. Anybody got any questions?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for letting me come speak.
What's that cord behind you? I don't want any lawsuit, Tony. He practices law a whole lot cheaper than most people.
Especially when it's first set.